Mixed bag, right?
Oh, well. We won't be here that long.
No.
Oh, yeah, go for it. Yeah, I've looked through it all. Yeah.
So this map means that this is all we're talking about.
Yeah.
In the blue line, that's everything.
Yeah, this is the where they want the variance.
Well, but this map is separate.
Here you go.
That's what I was.
It was good. I lost my voice. And but it was exhausting. It was 6 planes and 4 trains in 10 days. It was a lot. It was a lot.
I'm sure it's fun.
It was a good time.
Good afternoon. I'm going to call the Charter Township of Comstock Zoning Board of Appeals meeting to order. So we need to approve the minutes or approve the agenda. Is there any changes or edits to the agenda? No? All right.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
Or
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda is approved. And we're going to approve the minutes, or go through the minutes. Are there any changes or edits to the minutes that anybody found?
I looked hard, but I didn't see any. I'd make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Talking.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes are approved. Okay, now we're on to new business. We'll have a staff report from Casey.
Yep. My voice is kind of struggling today, so bear with me. I received an application from Molly Kirkland Cole for a property located on East ML Ave. The applicant is requesting a variance according to Article 3, Section 1.c, subsection 4, for the frontage standards. According to the standards, the minimum lot width must be a minimum or maintain a minimum of 165 feet. They're asking for a reduction of this frontage to 129.64 feet. Bit of background history on this parcel. Here's a picture of it here. It is currently zoned R1A with R1A to the north, south, east, and west. It's roughly 73 acres with over 1,000 feet of frontage, to the north. It says south and north. I have the R1A standards in here where it highlights the 165-foot frontage minimum as they are more than 1 acre and also without water and or sewer. If there were less, they could, or platted, but it is unplatted land. They turned in a land division application, which is what marked this, or began this variance request. So further down, you can see what they are requesting. They're hoping to divide this land into a few parcels. And so as it stands, they have the frontage. However, because they want to make this track 1 a separate parcel, here's their only frontage they would have, which is that 129 feet or 0.64 feet, where they need that 165 minimum. I received a narrative from the applicant that is in you guys' packet, stating why they're asking for the variance and their hopes with this land. And then I will go through the brief standards we should discuss tonight. So standard A is asking if this is a use variance, and this is not applicable because the intended use is permitted in this district. Let me get my packet up 1 second. Perfect. Standard B is asking if the applicant could use this parcel even if we did not allow the variance. And yes, complying with the ordinance would not prevent the property owner from using the property for permitted use. Standard C is asking that a grant of the variance applied would do substantial justice to the applicant as well as to other property owners. My findings were that allowing the property owner to reduce the frontage requirements by 36 feet would not harm nearby properties. Standard D, ask if there's a hardship asserted due to unique circumstances. The parcel shape is a little odd. I'll go back up to the picture. 1 second. It has several cutouts. If it were to be one polygon, they would have to worry about the frontage. However, because it is a unique shape, we are running into that issue with frontage. E, ask if the hardship is self-created, and my findings were that it is self-created. F, asks that the spirit of the zoning ordinance be observed. And then G, wonders if this is a recurrent enough variance or request to then amend our ordinance, and my findings is that it is not. I'm sorry for the voice, but that's all I have for you guys.
Thank you. Do we have the applicant
Yes.
make a comment? Any comments? You come to the microphone and put your name and address.
Molly Cole, 1321 West E Avenue in Cooper. Do any of you have any questions for me as to what's happening here and why we're doing it and why we're asking for this?
Not yet, I will later.
Oh. Okay, Steve. Yeah, so we just need to put in a driveway, be able to put in a driveway so that we can sell that as a separate parcel with the 40 acres, so it's still stay in PA 116. And we don't want to have to cut into the field adjacent to it to widen that, because that puts an extra corner in a field that is, Steve, you know, is a pain to put in jogs and field, and we would have to have that whole other parcel surveyed, which we don't need to now when we, if we go to sell that, which we may do, also still staying in PA 116. So that's why we're asking for this. And yeah, Steve's daughter's been sharing a driveway with the riding stable, and they would like to not do that any longer. They'd like the stable to have its own drive.
Thank you. All right, now we do.
I've got a couple of things we probably ought to add, because there's things on the application when quite quiet. And you didn't have the address of the property. The address that was used is where Steve lives, the trust application, but the property is 8304 East ML. So if you looked for it, that's what it is. And I thought maybe some of the other people would have gone and looked at it, but no. But that's just the address of the other house on the farm. And the other thing that I found in here, that one of the heirs of the trustees of James, they're listed 2 Scott Kirklands, but there can't be 2. There's a Steve Kirkland, and it wasn't listed right.
Right, so there is another Scott Kirkland and there is another Steve.
Yeah, but it doesn't say Steve here, it says Scott.
There is a Steve Kirkland that.
But it doesn't say that. They wrote Steve on both of them, or Scott on both of them.
Oh, did I? Okay.
So I just was trying to get that straightened out, so the records will show.
Okay, public comment.
And one more question. This is 40 acres because of the PA 116?
Yeah.
That's why you had to keep 40 acres?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is a public hearing, so we have to open public hearing as well.
I'll entertain a motion to open public comment.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Are there any members of the public who want to make comments about this agenda item? No one stepping forward. I will entertain a motion to close public comment.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now it's time for board discussion. Suppose we should go through the standards, right? Unless anyone has a comment before we get to that. Can you hear me, Robert? Okay. All right, we'll start on these if no one has a comment to start with. Item A, the variance will not permit the establishment of a within the zoning district of any use which is not allowed as permitted or special exception. Casey already said that this is already intended for the use of the district, so I think we're fine with that. That compliance with the strict letter of the zoning ordinance would unreasonably prevent the owner or occupant of the property from using the property for a permitted purpose, or would render conformity with the zoning ordinance unnecessarily burdensome. Anybody have comment? No? Okay. So compliance will not prevent, okay. That a grant of the variance, or option, or item C that we have to consider, that a grant of the variance applied for would do substantial justice to the applicant as well as other property owners in the surrounding area, or an alternative, that a lesser relaxation than that applied for would give substantial relief to the owner or occupant of the property involved and be more consistent with justice to the other property owners. Allowing the property owner, Casey's comment was allowing the property owner to reduce the frontage requirements by 36 feet would not harm nearby properties.
I guess I have a question.
Okay.
If we allow other people in the same area to start doing that same thing, is that something, is that a precedent that we want to set?
If you want to press the button, please. Yeah.
All right. So if we allow other property owners in the area to do the same thing, would that be, is that a precedent that we want to set?
If I could address that. Cases are considered case by case, so it does not necessarily set a precedent. If we do allow for a variance like that, it's going to be based upon all the factors. So not just, every time we're faced with that type of situation in a area like that we would just have to grant it because we might grant it in this circumstance. It's kind of a totality of all the different parts here. So you go through your A through G and weigh those, that not, some ordinances are, if you miss one, it's done, no variance granted. The way yours is designed is to weigh the factors. So it's just like a judge sitting in a court, and you weigh these factors and determine, whether or not it should be entitled to a variance. So it's not gonna, you can't really use it unless the circumstances are pretty much exactly the same. And in this case, I think when you get to the next item, which is the unique shape of the property, I think that's an issue that, when we're looking at frontage, typically we're looking at rectangular parcels. So if we say 165 feet of frontage, it's 165 feet all the way back, and that's your parcel. In this situation, there might be less frontage, but it opens up into a wide parcel, much bigger than 165 feet wide. So some of the things that we would look at when we would put an ordinance provision like that in, we can't think of all the different shapes of properties and things of that sort. That's when the variance, when you start to think about variances, it comes into consideration in these types of circumstances. So it's not such a general, and that's another standard, it's not such a general variance that you'd be granted, that it would be basically changing the ordinance, and anybody who wants a 30-foot variance gets a 30-foot variance. Another factor that they did note is that it's in Public Act 116 and that they need to keep it at 40 acres, when they're doing their land divisions. So I think that division is important. What they're creating there has some importance based upon continuing to use it for ag property too. So those are just some of my comments.
Okay.
Kind of towards the uniqueness of this site versus, just if it were a rectangular site and they just wanted to do it, you probably would have to really think hard and long about it if there's no other factors, because then you're just doing something that everybody could say, hey, I want that same variance. But this is, the property itself has a very unique shape.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
One other thing I'd say is that property owners on both sides are the same people. So it's just making sure they didn't cut one field up.
Okay.
And you know why 165, where it comes from? It's 10 rods.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just to keep too many driveways from being on the street. So,
It's 10 rods that get picked out of the
okay.
air.
I appreciate the comments. Thank you. So what were we on? We're on
D now.
We're on D now? Okay. The hardship asserted by the applicant by justification for a variance is due to unique circumstances of the property. Yeah, the parcel is in odd shape. Does anybody have any additional comments to maybe expound on the lawyer's take on it?
It's only odd because it was several parcels they put together, and that's what created it.
Oh.
It's a farm, and then they added more to it, and so on and so forth.
Okay. Okay.
Then you work with what you got.
Yeah, yep, that's true. Item E is that the hardship asserted by way of justification for the variance is not self-created. It is self-created, but that is, unless somebody else thinks it's different. No? Okay. That in granting a variance, the Board of Appeals is ensuring that the spirit of the ordinance is observed, public safety secured, and substantial justice is done. So do you think if we were to grant that that these things would be covered?
Well, it's the same thing. Just where you put a fence.
Yeah, okay.
But both sides of the fence is the same people will be on it, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. Item G is about it being a recurrent issue, and it doesn't seem to be due to the nature of the property.
Right.
Does anybody have a motion they would like to make? Or any additional comments?
Well, I think that the people of the trust, trust decided what they wanted, and who is us to say something different? It's not going to affect anything, so I would make a motion that we approve this variance
Based on,
on the things we've talked about before. And
would you consider amending your motion or adding phrasing into your motion to say that we're approving this because it's a unique shaped parcel and the major intention of the variance is to give a driveway to the back?
that'd be okay, yeah.
That would, take it away from just being a random.
Right. Oh, yeah, it ain't random.
So if you, wanted to add those in, I'd just.
The reason we're doing it so they can market the stable, because years ago when it was put together, there was one operation, but they want to separate it out, and they want to put a driveway for convenience. So that's what I'm saying, that was the reason.
right, but we have to put in the thing that why it's unique. We can't just say, yeah, we grant it because it's unique. It's unique because of the size of the property,
Because
existing shape.
when you want to farm, you don't want to have so many sharp corners.
I understand that.
Okay. Well, then, if you understand it and I understand it, then it works.
But we have to have something for the record that is, means it's unique.
What was the condition that you were proposing, Ron?
Well, I was-
Mike was, oh, sorry.
Yeah, what I was asking Steve, if he would consider amending his motion to approve to include, the reason that we're approving it is because of the unusual shape of the property and the fact that the applicant is intending to use that variance as a driveway back to that larger part of the parcel.
Yeah.
Not just as a building site,
We
but
can add that
as a
in.
driveway.
Yeah.
So with those caveats, I would support that motion.
Then we,
Would you consider one other thing too,
Sure.
is that the parcel opens up to much wider than 165 feet. I think that's an important factor too.
Sure, yeah. Does that sound good to you, Steve? as
yeah,
part of the
that's
motion?
okay.
Are you able to write that in a way that makes concise?
Yes, I can do that.
If you have have something that maybe you should read back to us for our actual vote, maybe.
Yeah. Motion to approve this variance request due to the unique shape of the parcel, the ability to put a driveway into the parcel, and that the parcel opens up to a width of more than 165 feet.
Yeah.
I support Steve's motion.
Okay. We have a second?
That was me.
That was,
Oh, that was you.
that's
All
a
right.
support.
All right. Any discussion on the proposed motion? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Look at the blue line.
That one, yep.
So it doesn't show what we're actually selling.
It's in the other picture.
The blue line's talking about everything,
Correct.
encompasses all the things we're talking about.
That's as it exists now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's prior to the variance. So the motion passed. You're all set.
So now I will work with our assessor to get that paperwork completed, and then the division will just have like a little note saying variance approved for the frontage, and you'll be all set. Of course, thank you.
Nice seeing some of you again. Oh, yeah, of course.
It didn't go like I thought.
No. Okay. Do we have any old business to discuss? None being brought up, and I'm gonna, I'll entertain a motion for citizen comment.
No motion needed, we can just go into the next
Okay,
item.
we can go, okay. Reports for other boards.
Okay. We've done a lot. We started out the year, well, actually, we passed an ordinance in last year, and then the new board threw it back to the planning commission. So we've been working on the best ordinance since January, pretty much, of this year. But we now have something we think that'll work, but it won't be until second week in November that we actually pass it, will it?
Correct, so, as it stands, we have an ordinance, there's a moratorium on that ordinance, meaning an energy company cannot put an application in at all. They can go to the state, but as it stands, we don't have an ordinance to work with. We are having a public hearing for one on Thursday. However, there are some changes to that, so we will have another public hearing November 13th. If you all remember, the big parcel in question was 7600 East Main, the parcel by the new STEM Academy, if you remember that. The Planning Commission requested that the developer look into alternative sites, as the community was very concerned about having the best project near the school. The developer came in on the 16th with the alternative site being the Hickory Ridge Golf Course. So, Larry, you can take it from here. I was not present at that meeting.
He had three different plans, or three different sites, but the Hickory Ridge Golf Course was actually the best because he wanted to put it in Art Austin's gravel pit, and that really wasn't, it didn't have really any area. They'd have to build it up to be able to put it there, to put the best there.
What are you putting in?
Huh?
What are we putting in?
It's a battery,
Okay, that's what
the battery storage unit.
In one fell swoop, we'll say you can't golf in Comstock anymore, you gotta go watch batteries.
To what?
You
Correct.
can't golf in Comstock anymore.
Oh, no, you cannot. You will not be able to, but the owner was ready to sell out anyhow. He wants to retire, and this creates an alternative that works the best for us and the community, because the community was just throwing a fit over having it, I think 1,500 feet from the school. So we worked all year trying to find a way to change it, and we did. We actually got more than we expected. It's now going to be, almost 3,000 feet from the school, which we wanted at least, our ordinance is 2,000 feet. We looked at overlay ordinances and everything else, and where we found the best place for overlay ordinance was down south of 94. And as they said, there's just no way to get the trunk line over the expressway. So that didn't work. And so we ended up, they found that the golf course was willing to sell and anxious to sell, actually. And there's 139 acres there, and they want to put the best up where you can't really see it. Nobody will even know it's there once it's in. And then they only need 20 acres, and some of the rest of the acreage they want to make like a rec center and stuff like that for the community. So that one is almost done. Will be done the end of November.
It will still need 2 readings, Township Board, so hopefully done January 1st.
Right.
Optimist.
Yeah.
1 whole year, but not too bad.
Yeah. The next item is East Main Special Land Use Approval, and 33rd Street rezoning on chicken ordinance, and then discussion of accessory buildings. We started that back in August, I guess. And then Bess's again, and then 5301 East Main Special Land Use. And again, it was accessory building. And then we had on 155 Elliott, a rezoning, a piece of property that since 1998 or 98, the townships assumed it was all zoned commercial or industrial, excuse me.
It was split zoned.
It was split, but it was actually split zoned. And the back part was residential, but they had a commercial building on it. So we had to fix that because it was really our fault for overlooking it.
I thought we're not supposed to assume anything.
Huh?
I thought we were not supposed to assume anything.
We're not, but somebody did. So, okay, Elliot. 5806 Gull Road is going to be 7 Brew Coffee, and we approved that along with the site plan. Then we came up with the accessory ordinance structure did we approve that yet? I think we did, didn't we?
Yeah, no, so
it hasn't gone to the township yet.
Correct. So I'm going to skip ahead real quick, Larry. Our next meeting for Township Planning Commission is November 13th with like regular business, and that'll be a pretty hefty meeting. So we have a public hearing for our accessory structure ordinance and our chicken ordinance.
Right.
Both have been revised. Previously, if you had 15 acres, 5 acres, or 1 acre in residential, you can only have 6 hens. The Planning Commission has revised that to say 1 acre is 10 hens, and there's a grading scale.
It goes up according to.
5 acres or more, you're allowed 26 hens. So quite a big jump from the 6 we used to have. Accessory structures as well, we are allowing 600 extra square feet of accessory structures based on the grade we already had. So if you had 840, you're now up to, what is that, 8 plus 6, roughly 1,400-ish.
Yep.
And that is added for each of the acre breakdowns we had. We also have an applicant for Commerce Park, Lot 4. I believe it's the last open lot in Commerce Park for an indoor baseball training facility.
That's coming up.
Yep, on November 13th. And November 13th, we also have, a conditional rezone for 2 parcels on H Avenue for a new Redwood complex.
Yes.
Redwood says they're doing well in the Gold Road, G Avenue lot.
Which
And-
avenue?
Huh?
Which avenue?
Redwood's up where Bobix used to be,
Okay.
And they're looking
and
at
now they're looking at
H
H
Ave.
Avenue,
H and 28th.
where
It's 20
where the subdivision ends, basically, they're putting it next to there.
Correct. So you have Country Meadows above it, and I think Buck and White Horse to the east of it. Yet they'll be coming in. We have no clue how many units yet. This is just a rezoning process, but they are looking to expand in Comstock.
Yes. I think that covers all of it, except that one, on the structures, we eliminated the height restriction where prior to the ordinance that we are putting through now, if you went above 240 square feet for your accessory structure, everything was gauged by the height of the building. So if you went to 300 square feet, and it was a 10-foot building, you had to go 10 foot out from the lot line.
It was 200, wasn't it? I thought it was at 200.
Oh, yeah, you're right, 200, you're right. And anyway, we've changed that. Now it's 20 feet?
No, it's 5 feet.
No, I mean, 5 feet out, but they can have a structure 20 feet tall.
Structure 25 feet. As it
25
stands,
feet.
it's 18 and 22. You're allowed to go 25 feet now.
Yeah.
So it kind of reverts it back to how it was.
Correct.
before
Yep.
the-
It caused a lot of issues with people constantly coming in asking for an exception. So we changed it to fit what the community wanted, basically. I think that's it.
I think so too.
That's a lot. Thank you.
The chicken ordinance you're talking about, North 28th or 12, you just said to the 33rd Street, you did.
Well, we had a guy that, part of it, we were already looking at the chicken ordinance, but a guy on 33rd Street has had a lot of issues, and he wanted to
north or
change
south?
his property.
South.
South?
Yeah, he wanted to change his property to agriculture, but even doing that wouldn't have changed the fact that he had too many chickens. That's where 33rd Street came in.
Oh,
We had some changes to agriculture, thinking they could have more chickens, but it wasn't the case.
because I know most of the people who live on 33rd Street, and I don't recognize it.
He's on the corner of 33rd and,
Where?
I think it's ML. No, I don't know. Might be ML.
It's ML 33rd, correct.
Yeah. Because I went out there, looked at it, and he had probably, I don't know, 30 chickens. They were running around everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they usually do.
Well, I know. But you're supposed to, our ordinance says you're supposed to contain them, and he wasn't.
They gotta go out and get more things to eat. And they'll eat the things that's gonna bother you anyway, so you want to get rid of them, like a bug.
Thank you for the board updates. It's always good to hear what's going on. Are there any training updates? Nope. No? Any other business? I see we have a schedule.
So it is that time already. We are looking at the 2026 meeting schedule. I believe we need a resolution, or do we need a motion, Attorney Thal, for this?
So your meeting schedules are adopted by resolution, but all you have to do, it's just like making a motion, you just say, I resolve to adopt that as the meeting schedule, and somebody seconds it, and then you do a roll call vote.
Okay.
And that suffices.
Okay. I resolve that we approve the meeting,
The meeting schedule.
yes, schedule, yes.
Support.
I can do a roll call.
Okay.
Wellman,
Aye.
Creoven,
Aye.
Gazdag,
Yes.
Colby,
Aye.
Nichols.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
So I have one little piece of business too. That's, next year, we're going to be doing quite a bit of traveling all over the place. And so I'm going to resign
Okay.
off the board at the end of this calendar year.
Oh.
So it's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed doing this, but there may be one meeting in the schedule that we're in town for next year with various things that are going on. So, yeah,
With the way we don't have meetings that often, maybe.
it might work out. But I think it would be best for this board to have somebody that's more available than I'm going to be. So,
Well, congrats.
thank you.
We will miss you. All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
You're right. 35 minutes.
One of the best ones we've had as far as timing.
Yeah.
Speed.